Few weeks back, I tweeted about outsourcing, the not so secret weapon of successful entrepreneurs. It was, featured under growth hacking. Basically, growth hacking is an art of, growing businesses, growing customers, and growing communities and stakeholders through engaging with outsourcing and through engaging with, various vendors, partners. Uh, it is one of the biggest secrets of successful entrepreneurs that today most of the internet marketing companies are basically looking at outsourcing, and they're just, it is basically a choice between hiring somebody or hiring somebody who is in your region, or getting a virtual staff, getting somebody who is not in your region, not in your area, but just hiring them from outside and telling them to be a part of your network. And there are many companies that now are offering the same training program, and they're basically looking at just sort of getting everybody together, telling them that, hey, this is our management training program. You be with us for 6 months, and then after 6 months, we will, if we like you, we will be able to kind of take you forward. And I think the thing that is very essential is to understand what are the essential competencies and values that a particular organization has, and what are the essential values, competencies that a person has. And there has to be some kind of a match. When I talked about General Motors few months back, and I was talking about in terms of document use, working with others, I just reacted to this LinkedIn post where there's a new CFO who's coming on to General Motors, and huge automotive cars that are supposed to be doing very well. And it's been something that is hitting the headlines in India, because that lady is Indian and she's become a CFO, which is great news. I'm completely excited in terms of the fact that there are so many Indians who are CEOs, CFOs, and doing so well for their companies. But the idea is that we have to not just look in terms of people who identify themselves as Indians and they're doing very well and they're performing, but we have to also look in terms of what others are saying about them, and what is the kind of impact that they're making. So basically, that is the kind of talent analysis that needs to happen. And I think when some of the bigger firms like Robert Half, Michael Page, Bloomberg, and Wall Street has to kind of look in terms of analyzing talent, and basically saying that what is the kind of not so secret weapon of successful entrepreneurs is outside outsourcing the way forward, because outsourcing is painful. When you have people who are miles away from you and they are actually connecting with you, and you're not actually getting to see them, talk to them, and sometimes they're online and they're saying, hey, we can do everything for you. And it's a great model for many technology companies, but again, that's a model of technology companies that has helped them scale, has helped them become like successful entrepreneurs. But that's the reason why some of the technology companies are not able to converse in real time, because they have so much of information and collective bias, and they are so technical that it becomes very difficult. And then they say, hey, I want, and then they change their platform. So typically their job descriptions will say that you have to work with Marketo, HubSpot. And then if there is an applicant who comes in and says that, hey, I have the logic to work in one particular platform, they say, no, but this is something that you worked in X platform, you need to work for Y platform. Then when that person says that I have logic to work in Y platform, then they say, no, you can work in Z platform. So it is basically very confusing. And I'm really happy that LM Financial Services liked my retweet on essential social investing platforms. Social media in financial services is a great area, and I think some of the internal social media platforms that companies have are very, very exciting. And I think the entire social investing platform of few of the financial services companies are great, whereas few of the financial services companies really need to change in terms of the way they are doing social investing. If they are looking at bitcoins, cryptocurrency, I definitely doubt them. And they have to come out and say that there are issues with Bitcoin, there are issues with cryptocurrency. And I really see the role of financial services to come out and say that something which is just to make money, or like is just a gambling proposition. It's like a poker game. It cannot be. It is like a lottery ticket. And many of these gambling or cryptocurrency opportunities should be looked at in a very different way. And it is something that has to be really carefully looked at, because it should not it should not be a fraud. And honestly, if it sounds like a fraud, if it sounds like a scam, 90% of the times it is a fraud. Always beware of companies that are really looking at telling you that you spend X dollars of money and then I'm going to give you this, and then you spend X dollars of money and then I'll give you this. And one has to be one has to actually look in terms of what is the kind of revenue that a company has, and what are the kind of costs that the company has, and what is it doing in addition to managing people. LM Financial Services liked retweet, and Who Rights Canada also liked. So thank you, and I'm happy to educate, and I'm happy to, because I've worked with so many industries. I've worked in technology, I worked in financial services, I worked with large media firm. I'll work in government agency now. I definitely kind of know in terms of what is it to work with large groups of people. I know in terms of what are the processes, who are the stakeholders, and I definitely know in terms of what are the things that are going right, and what are the things that are going wrong. Across industries and sectors, because I follow all the news headlines all the time. Thank you.